Drew.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Laura.
And this is our end of 2024 annual podcast. I guess it's annual regardless, right? I mean, that's every year, but it was 2024 was the one that we're doing this year.
I think we've called it something different every year. And
Probably.
I love that for us.
Yeah. It's the same thing though.
Consistency is key with us.
Yeah, well, we really haven't done this in quite a bit either, so we're just getting back into it. Which I wanted to ask you both a question. But did you hear first off that Netflix has recently, it got out that Netflix apparently specifically tells writers that they want them to make sure that when they're writing particular things that characters are doing, that the characters actually say what their intention is or what they're doing out loud, because they know more people are just being on their phone and not actually watching the movie. So they have to say I'm in love with her instead of having a fleeting glance or a look at somebody, or they're I'm going to run away now. They have to state obvious things because they know people are just they want people to still follow along even when they're not paying attention.
Usually a sign of bad content for me. Whenever
exactly.
I see that in writing, I'm like, this is lazy writing.
Yes. Mm-hmm. When a character's you're supposed to be able to know what they're thinking internally, but they say the internal monologue out loud. I hate that. I hate that so much. Yep. But I can see that. Yeah.
They even have a channel that's called Easy Watching. They suggest things that are specific for you to just be on your phone while you're watching.
Hey, iPad kid, you can watch these, you dummy.
I'm maybe I'm just really good at multitasking, but I can watch something and still know what's going on, even though I'm on my phone and not have it say it out loud.
Well, I mean, maybe you don't realize that they're saying it out loud.
No, I can do it with anything.
Or maybe it's in the subtitles when you look up and it's he chases after her and you're like, oh yeah, that's good. Maybe the subtitles are doing it for you.
I'm a pro iPad kid. I think that's all.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little challenged. We were watching something the other day. We have a computer monitor in our living room now that sits on our coffee table, so that way we can play Fortnite while we're watching stuff.
I love you guys so much. I love you guys
How many
so
skirts
much.
Play Fortnite while you're watching TV while you're on your phone.
Jesus Christ, I love that.
So it's for the past couple of weeks, it's been that Mary will be watching something and I'll be playing, or I'll be watching something and she'll be playing. And then the other day I was by myself and I was like, well, I'm just going to play a little Fortnite while I watch something. And I was struggling to I had to I kept dying, or I'd miss a scene or something. That's too attentive pulling for me to do at the same time.
I really hope too you were just you know what? I'm going to give this new complex show a shot while I play Fortnite.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy watching where you're I'm just going to rewatch The Office. You were let's watch Severance.
Just gonna pop on. Just gonna pop on Seinfeld.
Yeah. That's the problem, is it needs to be a real easy show or something that you've seen before to play a video game.
Yeah.
Not Succession or something.
Right. Or you could do the thing that I assumed was normal and just not double consume. Pick one.
No. I'm a double consumer.
That's too close to being alone with my thoughts, Drew. I might think a thought if I'm doing one thing.
Yeah. I've tried to just scroll TikTok without some background noise on. No, Brian's right. That's still too quiet for the brain.
Well, can I ask
thoughts
them
can seep in?
What are y'all currently watching, or have you watched recently that was good that you actually watched and played Fortnite through or TikTok through, but you got it? What was
one
something
that I actually have been putting my phone down for and watching is the new Dexter, the original Sin.
Ooh, is it good?
The prequel. It's really, really good. I've been enjoying it. I was a fan of Dexter. I never watched the one that came out later.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
I didn't watch that, and I actually never finished the original series.
Well, yeah, that's good.
Probably good.
Yeah,
the first 3 seasons are great, and
the fourth is the best season.
Really?
Where John Lithgow shows up, and he's.
I thought that was 3. Okay.
Oh, yeah, 4 is that one, and then apparently it's it was topped. It was so good that you just couldn't come back.
And that's where I kind of stopped. When Rita got murdered, I think is where I stopped.
Spoiler
alert. If you haven't watched Dexter by this point.
It was a 2009 show.
Yeah.
I've watched the first 2 seasons. So Rena gets murdered. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Cool. No, I knew that, of course. I just never watched it.
Did you also know that they're in love with each other, the sister? No.
Well, yeah, and then they also like got married while being on the show and got divorced while on the show in real life too, which is crazy. But Michael C. Hall is in it, right? He's just narrating or something?
Narrates it, yeah. But the actors are all... I didn't realize that it was all of the characters pretty much from the show as a prequel. So like
interesting.
The father and the sister.
The father, the sister, but he like already is working at the... he's already working at the police station like as an intern. So
okay. That's cool.
It's like all the same cop characters, and the guy that does the forensics, that's kind of like that kind of creepy guy that's always like into the ladies and stuff, that's trying to get him to go up. I don't know. But so yeah, it's really good. All the actors like look like the actors from the other show. Cool. They act like them, they sound like them. That's cool. It's very, very cool. Yeah.
That's definitely cool.
Christina Million's in it. Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah. So got some Buffy in that.
I suggest it. And I also just started watching the new Goosebumps.
With Ross.
I keep thinking Ross.
Yeah,
that's
Ross.
all I got.
Schwimmer.
Yeah.
Schwimmer.
I've only seen the poster for it, and I was like, "Oh, Ross is in Goosebumps. That makes sense."
It's pretty good.
That's what I heard.
Pretty good. Yeah. I like the Justin Long one better so far.
That's right. Yeah. The first one was Justin Long. Yeah.
But it's fun. It's good.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Yeah, Bri, you can. If you
know. I've been blasting through Silo on Apple TV.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
We're all caught up, and I didn't know that it was still airing, so now I have to wait. We just watched an episode before I hopped on the podcast because it like came out on Friday and I hadn't got a chance to watch it yet. It's really good. It's a little like soap opera-y, where there's like this science fiction conspiracy theory stuff happening. But it just like each episode is an hour, and it like really drags out the mystery, but it's done well enough that I'm never like, all right, come on, what's happening here? It's like interesting how they're able to weave the stories like between all the characters and stuff, and it goes back in time. Like the first 3 episodes are not about the main character, or 2 episodes. It's hard to keep track when they're an hour long. Like it's like, oh, here's the story about this guy, and here's a story about that guy's wife. Anyways, here's your main character. Like 2.5 episodes later, and it's like super cool because now when she does stuff, Rebecca Ferguson, it's like, oh, I know about that because I watched that happen with the sheriff guy from before.
It's hard
to watch.
watch.
Common's in it.
Yeah.
Who is?
Common.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
He's a rapper, but he's very good in this. He's very menacing.
Oh.
It's hard to watch shows not binging it, because Dexter's the same way, where I've started watching it. I thought there was way more episodes out, but it was just the first one, and then I watched it. I was like, wait,
now you're stuck.
I have to wait a week. But I've actually, what the show is good enough, I don't mind, and I'm actually into it, and I'm like waiting for it. I'm like, oh, I kind of miss that feeling of like, ooh, my show's on tonight, you know. You don't get that very often anymore.
No, I do like the mix of the binge and the week culture, like where it's
get a few episodes in, and
then, exactly. Like I don't mind like binging a show and then being like, all right, I can wait till next week for this one, but I can rewatch this and this, or watch but Brian was saying about Silo, but Apple TV actually has a lot of good quality stuff.
Just about to say, like, I want to get it for a couple months because I heard that there's a lot. I never watched Ted Lasso, and then what's the one with Jason Segel?
Shrinking. Yep. Silo. I highly recommend if you want something funny. They have a 2-season murder mystery called The After Party. It is so
That's
good.
Really good.
Okay.
Yes. Did you watch the second season, Brian? Did you see it?
No, just the first one, but it was really good.
Season 2 was, and Laura, they do this murder mystery, and every episode, like the main episode 1 is like what happens, and then everyone's getting interrogated, and their story, the way they retell the events, are in a different genre of film or TV style.
Okay.
So each way, so one of them is an anime, or it's like animated, like one of them is a musical, one of them, but it's all about a murder mystery, and it's so funny, like, but it's really well done. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm really sad they're not doing a 3rd season. But good stuff. But
yeah, I'll have to get Apple TV for.
Yeah, I get it free from my cell phone provider.
I got a message saying like try your 3 free months when I got a new work phone, but then it said I had already used it probably the first time that I did it, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. But depending, I mean, like you said, depending on who you have, someone might pay for it. Like my cell phone pays for my Netflix and my Apple TV. So I'm like,
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah. But are you watching anything else, Brian? Or is that the main one?
That's the main one right now.
Sweet. I finished something that I really, really enjoyed that had a lot of heart and really was funny, and also was a crime comedy mystery called Inside Man. And
is this the one with
Ted Danson?
Ted Danson.
Yeah, on Netflix.
Oh, I love.
Was it good?
Danson.
It is so good. The same guy, Michael Schur, who did The Office, Parks and Rec, and my favorite, The Good Place.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a show about a widowed, retired man who is looking to like he's encouraged by his daughter to like, you can't just sit at home and sit here all day long. And he takes a job ad from a private investigator to infiltrate essentially a retired person's retire community and try to help her solve like someone who's stealing jewelry in this retirement home. And it's funny, but there's so much heart behind it. It's I cried, I think 3 times in the show. Aww. And it was sweet. And that's getting a second season. I'm so excited.
So if you cried 3 times, that means Brian and I would cry.
Or you don't cry at all, and you're like, "Why did he cry in this?" It's either one way or the other, but
I don't
it
think
could
that
go.
Whatever. I just had a perfect view of your shrimp neck tattoo, Brian.
Holding strong.
Like, how do I describe that? Over
you don't need to. I don't think we need to.
Yeah, for the listeners, I got a shrimp tattoo on my neck. That's all you need to know for right now. It's a party prawn.
Yes.
Yes, party prawn. Yes. Sorry.
And that's it.
That's all you get to know.
No comment.
And then
but you just like bent over
next week to find out why.
The the other show I'm watching right now that I just started watching, the series just finished a few months ago. And I just started watching it because someone suggested it. I never had interest in it. Is Superman and Lois. The one about Superman and Lois Lane when they're a little bit older. They have 2 teenage twins.
Is this like the conclusion to the CW? Like,
yes, it finished off
DC stuff.
Yes, yeah, and it's surprisingly good. I've
seen really good stuff about it. I mean, some of that CW stuff was good. I really liked the first handful of seasons of like The Flash and stuff.
Yeah, it's a unique take because again, it's like Superman and Lois, and they're a little bit older.
Yeah.
They have their 2 sons and they're twins, and one of them is the popular jock, and the other one actually has severe anxiety disorder. And they end up moving back to Smallville due to an event that happens. Mm-hmm. And now the popular jock kind of he's not the main quarterback at the school anymore. He's got to earn his place, but the other brother starts showing abilities. And he joins the football team and he's killing it. And so the other brother, they switch spots basically. One of them is, but the kid is still has the anxiety and he's not controlling his power. It's like this family thing with superpowers. And then there's all the silly hero stuff on the side. But it's like cool. Very compelling because like Superman's in the middle of trying to like fight this bad guy and his kid is like clicking the clicker that's like, I need you. And it's like, what do you like? It's like, what do you decide to do in these moments? It's actually pretty damn good. And I binged like, I don't know, 6 episodes last night. I just didn't even go to sleep. I was just like, I'm just going to keep watching this. And, but it only has 5 seasons, and the last season, I guess people absolutely loved it. So I'm excited to go with that. But yeah, that's the current stuff. I'm hoping to go to the movies this week, but we'll see if I'm not. My kid's not feeling well, so if I'm not feeling well, then I'm not going to go. But hoping to get out there.
Nice.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah, cool.
Do you? I need to ask this question.
Yes.
Okay.
The movie, and the way I googled this right before we started to find the name of it because I forgot what it was or what it was, who it was about, was Monkey Man Musical.
Okay.
The Robbie Williams.
Oh, a Better Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Better Man.
Because there was another movie called Monkey Man.
Yes.
Which
really?
I've been wanting to
Yes.
watch.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Which
I was
is an
like,
action
I didn't
film.
think it was a musical.
No.
I was like,
No.
that's fun.
I do not understand at all the concept of
I
this
love the
movie.
concept.
I don't.
It's real
get it.
simple. Here's an artist that's really, I don't know any of the music.
Very
It's a
popular,
very popular
in
UK.
everywhere else in the world, but never really got popular in the US.
And he was like, I'm making a movie about myself, and instead of it being me, put a monkey in there. That's it. Whole plot, whole concept is just,
And-
I don't want it to be me, CGI a monkey instead.
The
It's
first 10 times I saw the preview, I'm like, this can't be real. This is like a spoof.
It's the first official flop of 2025.
Okay.
Yes. But it critically actually is very, very well received. It was like just done differently. Same thing how like Pharrell used Lego to tell his biopic. This is Robbie Williams doing something completely different. It's the same guy who made The Greatest Showman. So it's supposedly a very well put together film. But no one cares.
It's just so bizarre to me. Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe it was the preview. Wasn't great.
You're 100% right that it is a very bizarre concept.
The preview didn't do it justice if it is good then, because I was like, what? I have no desire to see this.
Yeah, I think that they intentionally they don't talk about it in the movie. Like they just pretend like he's an actual.
Yes,
that's what I was like. I don't get.
There's no explanation for it. It's just he is a monkey.
Yeah,
I think he says in the opening of the movie. I think he said it for his whole life. He's always felt a little less evolved.
Yeah.
And I think that's the concept, is one stage below before humans are, apes, monkeys, things like that. So
I just had to talk about it because I was like, this is the most bizarre preview that I've ever seen, and I don't understand it, and I don't like it. I don't want to see it.
What animal would you CGI in your biopic?
That's a good one.
Ooh. Oh, that's a really good question.
I probably, I don't know, maybe a German Shepherd. I think I would be a dog.
Okay. Yeah,
I think I'd be like a dog.
Yeah. Maybe some kind of cat.
Okay.
I could see that.
But not like
a big cat?
No.
Or a house cat?
Like a house cat, but a big house cat, like a Bengal.
Oh,
cat.
Or like a Maine Coon cat or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're domesticated, but
not quite. Yeah, exactly.
Like you need the subtitles on, but you're not going to take anything from anybody.
Yeah. I need a nap every now and then, but if you get me going, I'll be a little feisty. Yeah.
I think I'd want something so big that it would be awkward to ignore the fact.
Elephant.
Like an elephant or something, or like a giraffe, or like a big bird, like an emu or something.
Ooh, yeah.
Or Big Bird.
I think something to where it's like, because you could just swap a monkey in for Robbie Williams and be like, all right, we don't have to explain how he fits in a car or how he goes anywhere, but now you gotta creatively write around the fact that I'm a big fucking elephant.
It's true.
The giraffe, you just have
every
a
time
sunroof in all of your cars with your head sticking out.
He's scared to go over, go under bridges on the highway. Like he lowers his head a little bit.
Or if he was an elephant, he couldn't go to New York because he'd be scared of all the rats. But then elephants scared of mice.
Yeah, but he's always on the train. It's the only way he can travel. I love it. Well, very good.
On that note,
yeah, creative question. Speaking of, so this of course is our annual end of year episode where we kind of talk about the things we saw and the things we enjoyed. And I want to play a little game with you really quick. I have 5 out of the, I think 15 or 16 movies we watched and published last year. I picked 5 movies and I, through my notes, specifically pulled things, whether it was something somebody said, something that actually happened while we were together, something that was like it wasn't even about the movie. It was just a game that we played during it or anything like that.
Okay.
I have 5 movies, and I just want to know if you can guess what movies or when we were together, what we were watching when these things happened. Okay. The first one's easy. Okay. You're just going to have to think back. You'll remember the event. I think you'll just have to remember what movie was it. Okay. So the first one, what movie, when we did Real Doofs, did we finally finish our tradition of getting everyone a Shane from Love is Blind cameo? What were we watching when you revealed that to me?
So it was your birthday.
It was. It was for my birthday.
So
Brian gave me a Dune popcorn bucket pin at the same time. So we were
in person. So
Ooh.
Twister.
Yes. Yeah. Good job. All right. Cool.
Those were, without that clue, I might not have gotten it.
That's okay. All right. Now, what movie did we watch where somebody guessed that part of the plot of this movie was that an outsider or scavenger fending for themselves is trying to bring good, shiny objects to make friends?
The Crow.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
What were you going to say,
That sounds
Brian?
like a me guess, but I don't
It was very much a Brian guess. Good job, Laura. All right. Now, this is actually taken from our episode description.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Will Brian retire to the Shire, take a trip to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, or become a snow globe maker in Vermont?
Oh, this,
I will tell you this. Laura hosted this episode.
Was it Mean Girls?
Close. It was
Edward
shortly
Scissorhands?
after. It was earlier than that.
Yeah, I was going to say, it feels like an early...
It was a drama that Laura cried.
Well, I mean,
it was an Academy Award.
Down.
It was an Academy Award nominated movie that was robbed of its Best Picture Oscar.
Mountain?
Yes,
okay.
Brokeback Mountain. Not bad. All right. 2 more.
I couldn't remember even what movies I did last year.
I know. And if you didn't delete all your notes, Laura.
I told you I'm old school. I write them on paper and then they get recycled.
All right. What movie did somebody guess that the EPA would be the main villain of this movie?
What's the EPA?
The Environmental Protection Agency.
Oh, I think I know. I'll give Brian a second to...
The question was, who is the villain? And Brian said the EPA.
EPA?
Yes. I'll tell you this. It's an 80s classic.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I was going to say Iron Giant.
That's a good guess.
Also not published yet.
Oh. Spoiler alert.
Sneak peek
We
at
watched
that one.
Iron Giant. An 80s classic.
An 80s classic that both of you were like, it was fine.
Oh, Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
right.
Ghostbusters.
EPA.
Yes. Yep. And the final
The
question.
Ectoplasm Protection Agency.
The final question. This was one of your guesses. What movie was it that someone said that we are aliens in the future? The aliens inside of us all along, like Cocoon, where Brian stayed. I don't know what that last part meant, but it just says where Brian stayed.
I stayed in the cocoon.
Yeah.
Aliens.
No.
No, we
It's
didn't.
not-
watch it
he
that
was
year.
just
Oh.
he was
Oh.
pondering aliens.
Okay.
I was
Sorry.
pondering aliens.
Yes.
The
The movie has nothing to do with aliens.
okay.
Like the cocoon. Hold on. That
It
one's
really
not-
mainly about the title of the film brought on this sort of guess.
Oh, adaptation.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I was going to give you the
As soon as you got to the title, I was like, oh, yeah.
I was going to say that this was also the first time that we played Who Said It? Nick Cage or a Serial Killer?
Yeah.
So,
Classic game.
yes. But yeah, adaptation. Great job.
Cool.
Not bad.
That was fun.
I know. Brings back some memories.
I know. I mean, it just seems like forever ago that we watched those movies, but it wasn't that long ago.
It really was. I mean, it was within a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right. Well, that's what I had for that.
I too brought a game.
Yes.
This game actually is a card game that I bought for Drew that I decided to just open and we'd play. It's still kind of for Drew.
Drew, you can still have it after I opened it.
I love that for us.
Yeah. I bought it like 4 months ago, and I was like, I'm never going to get this to Drew. This is going to make a good game for the show, so we're just going to play it. I tried to go through, so it's a movie card game. I went through and I picked out specifically movies that we've watched on the podcast.
Okay.
Oh,
awesome.
And it is each card has a very poorly described version of the plot of the film.
Oh, I love this.
Okay. So before I get to the ones that we actually watched in 2024, and I've got a few extra, from the year prior, because there wasn't a ton from 2024 that were actually in the game.
Yeah.
Because we watched things like Jackass and The Crow.
Yes.
So the first one is just a gimme, just to set how this game works, and I think you'll get it pretty quick. It's from a very early Real Doofs film. Just to use as an example, because I think Drew would probably get it right away. A group of men go fishing over 4th of July weekend.
A group of men go fishing. Jaws.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
A girl attempts to... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I would have been really proud if I got that before Drew, and I was like a second away from it.
A girl attempts to dismantle her high school's social structure.
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls.
A man doesn't let his fiancée sit in the window seat on an airplane.
Wedding Singer.
Nice.
Yeah, Wedding Singer. That was really quick.
I just watched that again recently.
It's also a sneak peek because that episode also hasn't been published.
Spoiler. No, I just watched that when I was away on Christmas vacation in Maine.
That's cool.
This one is rock, hammer, sewage.
Oh, Shawshank.
Oh.
Shawshank Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I was thinking Ninja Turtles.
That's what I was
popping
too.
into my head.
I was like, I don't remember watching that with you guys.
A pipe brings two X's back together.
A pipe
A pipe
brings two X's back together. Pipe.
I do have a hint for each of these.
Okay.
This hint is going to give it away.
Okay, give it a second. Yeah, and this is something we have watched at some point. On
This
the
one was from 2024.
Oh, okay.
It's a film we watched last year. A pipe brings two X's back together.
A pipe brings two X's back together. Pipe.
I'm stuck on that one.
Huh. I mean, the only thing about X's, well, I mean, I don't know if they're X's. They were just, I was going to say The Crow, but what else did it? What other movie did we watch where people came together? Two X's. A pipe. Hope it's not Brokeback Mountain.
Nope.
Okay.
I also don't think they were X's.
How
No,
early?
I mean-
How like new do these movies go? Was Madam Web one of them?
Pretty new, but it wasn't Madam
Okay.
Web.
I don't. That's all I'm thinking. Okay, give us the hint.
Yeah.
A cow flies.
Okay. Oh, Twister.
Twister. I don't get the pipe part. I don't remember that. Does he
Did
come to
they
They
fix the
hold
pipe?
on
onto
to the
that
pipe at
pipe?
the end. Yeah, at the very end, they like
okay.
wrap each other.
Yeah.
They like wrap around the pipe. That's the only thing I can think of.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's I don't really love that one. No,
I don't love that one either.
there could have been a better one, like a cow flying brought an axe back together or something.
Good poetry causes someone to kill themselves is a really dark one.
Dead
Poets Society.
Two cowboys slowly ruin their marriages over several years.
Brokeback, yep.
I don't think that's like an obscure description of it. That is a
That's
description of
that's
it.
pretty it. Yeah. A boy hangs out in a junkyard with his space friend.
Iron Giant.
You're a
Mhm.
giant. And that's the little that's our little guessing game.
That was
I
cool.
love that.
Should
I
we
like- you remember how much I love Iron Giant?
Yeah. Should we dive into our top 10 for the year?
Yes, we want to hear. And this is the best part is like Laura and I do not know what it's going to be.
So we did this last year and I really liked it. We each submitted our top 10 films of the year. And then I have a fancy Excel spreadsheet with an algorithm that pumps out the Doof Meters top 10 Real Doofs version, which is our combined top 10. So movies get extra points if multiple of us have seen them. They get extra points the higher they are up on our list. So for instance, last year, we all saw very different movies, but our top 10 list last year, I'm just going to read them all real quick.
Sure.
And we won't comment on them, but number 1 was Barbie. And then Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, Oppenheimer, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Marvels, Evil Dead Rise, Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, Talk to Me, and Past Lives. Which is
2023 was much better.
And there's a lot of good films.
Our movie viewing, I think, than it will be for 2024.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So
yeah, start us at 10.
There were some great movies.
Are we doing the worst ones first? What were our real stinkers from 2024?
Should we get that out of the way?
Yeah, let's do that first.
Okay. Drew, what was do you remember what your real stinker
was?
I
do. My lowest one was a movie called Under Paris.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Under Paris was a Netflix shark movie with very bad dubbed.
Was it like a sewer shark?
Yes, basically it's a mako shark that's a giant mako shark that somehow gets into like the big famous river in Paris, and there's going to be like a event where people are going to be in the river. It was so bad. It was so, and like half the people who saw it were like, this is the best movie since Jaws. And other people are like, you can't be serious, right?
Yeah.
And I'm in the you can't be serious crowd. It was I think the only thing worse than getting bit by this shark was watching this shark movie.
Is that your review?
That's my review.
Oh
yeah.
My God.
Okay. I love it.
And I can't watch movies that are dubbed over. It really I don't know. Maybe it's
that's why you get
scrolling on my phone at the same time and I can't pay attention.
Yeah.
Laura, yours was a film called Our Little Secret.
That was also a Netflix movie. That was a Lindsay Lohan.
The holiday one, or
it was. So Lindsay Lohan goes to her hometown and runs into her like ex-boyfriend, like love of her life, but they ended up breaking up because she moved away.
Of course.
And he's dating someone that they are she's dating someone. Somehow they end up at the same family. It's like he's dating someone that's related to someone she knows or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But I usually like the corny like holiday movies. But it was so bad because they made her character so unlikable. And like she was a bitch the whole time. And you're supposed to want them and like these two people to end up back together again. And I loved the male character. Like he didn't seem like he was that awful, but she was like so mean and to him the whole time that I was like, why would they ever get back together? This is so stupid.
Oh, maybe he likes abuse.
I hate it. That's what it was. Like she was just so mean the whole time. I was like, I don't know why we're supposed to be rooting for this relationship at all. So yeah, I did not like that at all.
And Brian?
Mine, there was a few. I mean, Laura and I talked about this before, but we did not see very many movies this year. And at least for me, most of the ones I saw were not that good.
Same.
I think the one that takes the cake was a movie called Dear Santa that I watched over Christmas, starring Jack Black, who plays. Yeah, there's a kid with like dyslexia, and he writes a letter to Santa, but he accidentally writes it to Satan, who is Jack Black, who gets the letter and decides to grant the kid 3 wishes because he never gets letters. But if he grants all 3 wishes, then he gets the kid's soul.
Right.
And so it's just this poor dyslexic kid who's like, life is not that great. And every time something bad happens, Satan shows up and is like, you could make another wish, kid, and then I get your soul. like super Jack Black. It should be very good. It just isn't. Like all the acting is terrible. Like the acting is bad. The kids are bad.
Like a funny, different, new concept. But
yeah, it just didn't hit. I don't know. And I was like, this is weird enough that I think I might like it just because it's so bad.
Yeah.
But which was the same mentality that I had going into watching another film that does not show up on our list, but was on both Laura and I's list.
Talk about it later. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, just not that good.
And since when is Satan granting wishes? Is that a thing?
They explain it in the movie, but like the best part of the movie was the 10 minutes that there was
nothing happening.
No, what's the singer rapper's name? Oh, he's in it.
Oh, I saw this in the preview. That's right.
Oh,
there's somebody.
Who is it? His name's at the tip of my tongue.
Post Malone?
Post Malone is in it.
Post Malone is in it?
Yeah, one of the kids' wishes is to have like a front row seat at a Post Malone concert.
What?
And he like Satan brainwashes Post Malone to like be best friends with this kid. Best part of the whole movie.
I
like.
Posty.
Yeah, that I like.
It was great.
I like that.
And you could tell he was just like happy to be there.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Let's get to our list here. So number 10 on the list is a tie between two films. We technically have 11 films here that we're going through.
Okay.
The two films that are on this tie are Longlegs and Carry On.
Nice.
And I will say that our top 10 list pretty good. There's not a movie on it that's under 78% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wait a second. Wait. Carry On
is the one that like just came out over Christmas with Taron Egerton.
So who else saw Carry On? Because I saw it and it didn't make my top 10.
It made my top 10, and it was high up on my top 10 because of all the bad movies that I saw.
Shut up.
It was pretty good.
I saw such bad movies too.
Did you
that,
watch
like,
it? You didn't like it?
I watched half of it. So if I watched the rest of it, it could have been on my list. But I only watched half of it.
It was so bad, but Bateman was so good.
I think that's what carried a lot of it through for me. Well, I like Taron and Bateman. I think they're both really good. The only thing I will say that I don't like about it is it feels like a sign-up movie for the TSA. In the same way that like Top Gear got a bunch of people to sign up to the Air Force, this was like the TSA being like, please be nice to TSA agents. No, your job is pointless. I will not be nice to you.
I did hear good things about the movie.
It was a fun Christmas movie. It was Die Hard in the.
It was Die Hard in an airport.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just that. It was ridiculous.
I thought that the like, I don't know, mystery of like trying to figure stuff out was pretty good. I don't know. I liked it. That was I just remembered that was the one that I was trying to watch while I was playing Fortnite.
Yeah, that one I can see that you have to.
It was really hard to pay attention to because
I can't imagine that how. You should have coasted through it because it was so simple. Like
I don't know, man.
You didn't need to know anybody's name.
Just a real dummy.
You didn't need to know anybody's name in that movie.
I need you to tie break. I need you to watch this and tie break it for us, Laura.
I'm afraid for our top 10 if Carry On made it on the top 10.
All right, what about
Longlegs?
What about Longlegs, you two?
The fact that Longlegs was 10 when I thought that it would be way up there.
It didn't even make Drew's list. No, I didn't see it.
Correct,
it probably only made mine because, again, I saw
because it nearly killed me, and Laura thought it was very efficient.
I do love an efficient Drew killer movie.
Yeah, the side story is that Laura and I went to see Longlegs, and I'm going to get real on this comedy podcast for a second, but I had my first panic attack ever at the end of the movie when Laura was like, I have to get up and use the restroom. I'll be right back. And Laura left. And then I was in the chair. Like, I was like, I think I'm dying. I think Laura's going to come back and see me dead in a chair.
Meanwhile, Drew did not say a word about this.
Not a word. No, I was like, I don't want to freak Laura out. I was just like, let me just practice some deep breathing. And I was like, wow, this isn't getting any better. I'm like, this sucks. And then I went to the hospital afterwards. But no, I mean, it's an effective movie. It just it was like what everyone was hyping it up so much for me. Yeah, and it was a very slow burn. And the ending was wildly weird.
Yeah. It was not scary to me. Yeah. Like, it's not the type of scary movie that I like, and I thought it was going to be. I had the same thing. It was hyped up so much.
It was good though. It wasn't terrible.
It wasn't bad, but it was a letdown because it just wasn't great.
Nick Cage went 1,000% in that movie. 1,000%. Nick Cage looked like a Madame Tussauds version of Nick Cage. Like it was
weird. It was
creepy. And just randomly singing and just screaming and then smashing his face into things. He was committed to this part. So good on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, just not as good as I wanted it to be.
Same.
Sometimes
but I am
when movies get hyped up like that, it's so hard to live up to it.
But I am excited for the director, the guy who made the movie, Osgood Perkins, that's his name. I'm excited for his next movie, which is coming out in February. It's based after a Stephen King book called The Monkey. And the trailer, the R-rated Red Band trailer, looks ridiculous. It's like a horror comedy, but like it's horror with funny things that are happening. And it's like Theo James is the lead actor in it, and Tatiana Maslany is in it, and there's a few people. It looks like there's basically these kids, these two twin boys, like they found this monkey doll, like the one that like claps the little symbols
like
together.
Yeah.
And it kills people. And they've tried to get rid of it for years, and the thing comes back and it's like killing people in ironical and silly ways but it's like also like very bloody and gory, but silly at the same time. So I'm excited. It looks like it's going to be a wild movie.
Cool.
So that's our 10s. So number 9. So both of those, by the way, Carry On had an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. Long Legs had an 85%.
Yeah.
Our next movie has a 78%, and it is A Complete Unknown.
Oh, I wish it was higher, but yeah, no, that was one of my tops this past year.
Looks like it was like your 4th movie, and neither of us, I think, saw it.
Yeah.
No, and I was going to, and I wasn't able to end up going, and it probably would have been on my list.
Yeah, it was. It didn't do anything outlandishly. Listen, Timothée was not a monkey. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Yes. No, he wasn't a random animal. They didn't do anything very strange in the world of a biopic.
Yeah.
They did things I loved. Timothée sang.
He learned
himself,
like 40 songs, right?
Yes, and which, by the way, not this weekend, but the following weekend, January 25th, he's hosting SNL for his 3rd time, and he is the musical guest as Bob Dylan.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes, cool. So that's pretty cool. That movie got me literally on the way home. I was like, I got to listen to some Dylan just to, like, I'm in the mood. Yeah. And then I started listening to Dylan. I was like, no, I got to listen to the soundtrack to this movie instead. And I've jammed on it several times. And one thing I also appreciated, James Mangold, who directed the movie, also did Walk the Line with Joaquin Phoenix about Johnny Cash. And a lot of that movie was about his tragic past and his post-traumatic stress and all this, and walked into his drug addiction. Well, Dylan was on drugs, man, and they didn't touch any of that. They didn't just go into any of that. It was just about this short period of time from when Bob Dylan was discovered up to a few years later when he goes electric at the Newport, Rhode Island Folks Festival, and how everyone was like, don't go electric. And he was like, man, I'm going to go electric. And that's like the extent of the movie. And it was so riveting. It was just great. So, not my top, but it got on my letterbox. It did I gave it a perfect score. So I did enjoy it a lot.
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go see it with my dad, but I'm not like a huge, were you a huge Bob Dylan fan going into
Never.
it? Okay.
Always.
I'm not either. I
tried never to get into Dylan. My brother's big into him, and he's always wanted me to listen to the music, and I've never gotten it.
Yeah.
But watching this and seeing the process and understanding it, I was like, and hearing the songs after you know what they're about and stuff, I'm like, oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
And it's kind of relevant today too. So Yeah, it made me like it a bit.
Cool.
Yeah.
I
That's
have
fun.
to shout out my friend Monica. You both know that she absolutely hates Bob Dylan like so much.
But
The
love
voice.
Timothy.
Just to the point that one time I couldn't. I knew that she hated him, but I couldn't remember who it was. I was like, "There's a singer that she hates. Can't remember who it was." So I just texted her and I said, "Who's that man you hate?" And she responded, "Well, I hate all men, but specifically Bob Dylan." And I was like. And I was like, I knew that she would know that I was talking about Bob Dylan.
Love it.
Number 8 on our list. Complete Unknown is at a 78%, by the way, on Rotten Tomatoes right now. The next movie is at a 97%.
Oh, dang.
And it is The Wild Robot, which was on my list. Did you watch it, Drew?
No, I missed it. That was one I would have liked to have seen, but I did not.
That it was really good.
It was really good, and it has a killer cast. Pedro Pascal's in it, Bill Nighy's in it, Mark Hamill's in it, Matt Berry's in it, the guy from like the What We Do in the Shadows, New York City. That guy. Yep. He was really good in it too. It's a DreamWorks film, and it was a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. Like there was this mom, Catherine O'Hara's in it. Catherine O'Hara plays like a possum, and she's got like 9 possum children, and then you hear like a growl and like a snatching sound, and then she's like, "Well, I have 8 possum children." And it was like, oh, Jesus Christ! They just like on screen killed the kid, but it was like really heartfelt and really good, and it was just really well done. It was like a good DreamWorks film.
Nice.
Did you cry?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So that was on mine. The next one, movie 7, also a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, is Superman, the Christopher Reeve story.
Yes.
Which was I saw and I assumed Drew's.
It was, yes, documentary about Christopher Reeve. Yeah, it was just exactly that. It was just about Christopher Reeve and a kind of biography on him, and it was just done very well. It was great that it separates the man from, the character. It showed Christopher Reeve as a flawed human being. It showed how much hope this guy had in the possibility of science getting him better, and how the law and religion also kind of condemned him from wanting to try to heal. But like going from this guy who could not move a muscle to the point where he could move his hands again and his finger, and but it was tragic. It was crazy. It was sad. It was hopeful. I think it was the first movie I watched this year that I gave a perfect 5 score on. I was like, and it was towards the end of the year. I think it was like October-ish when I saw it, October or November. And I just, maybe it was August. I can't remember at this point, but it was just something so, it was me and like 12 other people in that theater. And all we heard the entire time, we were like, we just heard sniffling, and someone at one point, someone was like, here are the sort of things. There was an actress, I can't remember who she was. Maybe it was Glenn Close, but she was just like, I feel, so Christopher Reeves and Robin Williams were very close friends. And she was like, I feel if Robin was alive today, Christopher would be, or if, Christopher would be alive too, or something like that. I was like, like, it was like, oh my God, man. Like just stuff like that hit hard.
Well, I feel like that, I don't know why. I remember seeing him everywhere when I was a kid, with the accident, and just like, that was just, I remember so much of that growing up and seeing him everywhere. It was like a huge news story that was just like,
especially when he started to be able to move.
Yeah.
And he ended up dying of an infection. He just couldn't, he couldn't kick. So it was
one of those
wildly
pop culture things that just like stuck in my memory growing up.
But like I said, it's like they talked about the good and the bad. He was married, had a couple of kids, and then was just like, I'm not a marriage guy. Like, or he wasn't married. He was with his partner, an English model, when he was like Superman. And then he's like, I'm not really a marriage guy. And then they like kind of started fading apart, and they separated. And like within a year, he met this woman and fell madly in love, and they got married, and they were together the rest of the way.
Oh, wow.
And they had another kid, and that kid looks just like him. Like, I mean, like just like him.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just, and she died also like a year later, his wife, after he passed.
I'll have to watch this.
It's on HBO Max.
Yeah, I saw that there.
Yeah, definitely like worth, if you're just interested in the story. It's not all about like Superman or anything like that. It's about the guy and his troubles and how he also just made other people like hopeful. It's really good. Cool. Huh?
Next on the list, Smile 2.
And what number are we at?
Oh yeah, this is 6 by the way.
Wow. Smile 2 making it up there. I assume this was Laura seeing this, not Brian.
All my, most of them were horror movies that were on there.
Yeah.
It wasn't that great, but because I only saw a handful of movies that weren't great altogether. But it wasn't as good as the first one. I definitely enjoyed the first Smile way more, but it still had the same like good jump scares. Creepy, a little almost too gory for me at some points though, which
who are you?
But I don't love, I like scary movies, but I don't love the gory scary movies. Almost like leave more to the imagination. Like at the end, a big kind of monster thing comes out, and I'm like, why'd they do that? Like,
I think I saw these on like Instagram Reels or TikTok or something where it was like she's on stage, right? When it happens. Yeah. Okay. Then I saw, I'm like, ugh.
Because the whole point of the movie is like something like, it's like in your brain is making you see all these things and making you do weird things and see these creepy people smiling at you. So it's almost just like the less you see is creepier, and then to have this big weird monster at the end, it's kind of weird. But overall, I enjoyed it. It still had a few good jump scares, and there's just something about when they have the characters do that smile, it's fucking creepy. Like there's one scene where she's in her apartment and she's like a singer, so all her background dancers all of a sudden appear, and they're like in the hallway and all just like smiling at her in these weird poses. And as soon as she like turns around and starts to run the other way, and then she'll turn back and look at them, they're like closer to her, but they're all like in these weird poses up against like the wall and like up on the ceiling, but just this huge smile. And I was like, oh, I don't like that at all. That's
and
creepy.
I think the boyfriend too is
Jack Nicholson's
son. Yeah.
Yes,
and he has like the same like creepy smile.
Yeah. He's only in it for a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, he's good. No, it's definitely creepy. If you don't like scary movies, you would not enjoy it. No.
Nice.
Yeah, Brian doesn't need to watch this one.
I wonder if they cast people based off of their like naturally spooky smile.
I think you have to. Yeah, for sure.
They have a smile coach. Like a dialect coach.
Yeah.
Like, can you smile?
No, a little bit more in the corners, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, I'm trying to look up which one is his son.
Just write Smile 2, Jack Nicholson's son.
Cast here. Is his last name Nicholson?
No, I don't think so.
Oh. Is it Lucas Gage?
Maybe?
Gage? No. I don't know.
Oh no, I think it's Ray. I think it's Ray Nicholson.
Ray. Oh, is it Nicholson? Yeah, okay, then maybe it is. Yeah, definitely. If it's Nicholson, then it's him.
Ray Nicholson.
Yeah, let me drop the side by side in our Discord real quick.
Oh.
Yeah, you see it?
Yeah. Okay. That's not who I was thinking it was. But okay. Oh yeah, no, that looks just like him.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Brian. Get us to the top 5.
We're in our top 5 now, and at spot number 5, because 2 of us have seen it. There's only 3 films on this list that 2 of us have seen, and it's Fall Guy.
Oh, did we all see that?
No, just you and Brian, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was high up on yours.
Yeah, I just watched it 2 days ago, which maybe is why it was high up on mine. But I really enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to.
It was a lot of fun.
It was so fun.
I did use it recently as an argument. It might have been to you too, about how like they don't make rom-coms like they used to anymore. Like you couldn't make like Notting Hill. You gotta have like guns and an explosion. Like it's all rom-coms now are like action movies. Like they did like the Lost.
They're gonna try this year though.
Oh yeah, is there one coming out this year?
Bridget Jones Part 4 is coming out.
Oh, strong opinions.
No, but Fall Guy, I loved it because it reminded me a lot of the Nick Cage movie, the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Oh yeah.
Because it was kind of making fun of itself a lot of the time.
And it was.
Yeah, there was one part where he even said, he's like, oh, you can't do this at the end of the movie, or because people are gonna lose interest or something if you do too much. And it was like that, very obvious that they were going to do that in the movie. But I really loved at the end. Did you watch like the credits when they were actually filming all this stuff?
Yeah, that was really cool.
I was like, oh, it really also is about how the stuntmen like don't get any credit for all these crazy things that they do.
Yeah. They did a good job at like making it about Hollywood and about like that specific part of the industry. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Did they go on about how like the stunt people should actually have like an Academy Award?
That was mentioned.
Yeah.
I
think it's this year. It might actually happen this year, or because someone's getting one.
Someone says to him like, "Oh, do stuntmen get an Oscar?" And he's like, "No."
No, it was good. I really liked it.
I would watch it again too. That was one of the few movies that I saw this year that I would probably watch again, and I might pick up more things like that. Of
It's interesting too because it flopped so badly.
Really?
Yeah, it bombed, and I think Ryan, not Ryan. Why can't I think of his name?
Gosling.
Yeah. I think Gosling actually dropped out of the horror movie that's coming out this week, Wolfman, to do Fall Guy instead.
I thought it was good. I bet people didn't understand the humor that was.
I don't think it was marketed well enough for people to really. They just really tried to shine off of Gosling being in Barbie. This was the next movie after Barbie. Yeah, and the trailers and things didn't really, I think, hit everybody.
I can agree because watching the trailer and then watching the movie, I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. Yeah. He does. I was noticing play. He was reminding me of Ken. In this role, and I don't know if it's just because now I only see him as Ken, or if if they kind of wrote that to the character a little bit.
I don't know.
Which is just also just a lot of his like humor. I think like he's very much that like character. Yeah. It got an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
wow.
I think people when they did see it, they did like it. It just not a lot of people I think would have chose to go watch it.
Yeah, maybe when it started streaming, it did better. Yeah.
Number 4 on our list. This one was Drew's number 1 movie, Saturday Night.
Yeah.
That's one I watched too. Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I just got it again. I just bought the movie and I had Kristen watch it with me.
It's like a great cast.
It is. It's very interesting. A lot of unknown people in the movie, but this is the best way I could compare it to something that Brian would know. And I don't remember if you saw this other movie, Laura, but it was like watching Adam Sandler's Uncut Gems.
Okay.
But about the first Saturday Night Live about to air.
So anxiety ridden?
It's like tick, 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 tick. 40. There's an hour and a half before the show is going to start. God. Everything is falling apart. It's hilarious, but it's so stressful. Kristen, literally, we were laughing, but she was like, I was so stressed out. I mean, up to the second it aired, no one knew if it was actually going to air. So it is just every second it's like a punch like is happening. You're like, Jesus Christ, oh my God. Like, wow. And the guy who plays Chevy Chase does so good because he's an asshole.
And he looks everyone just
hates.
Like him.
Yes. And like, and J.K. Simmons has an amazing cameo as Milton Berle, who was like one of the TV's golden age of television's like greats.
Mm.
He even like constantly like it's mentioned like 2 or 3 times that at one point Milton Berle held 97% of the entire TV watching audience.
Wow.
And he was like, and of course, like that's when there were like 2 channels to choose from. There's 1 or 2. You didn't have a lot, but like he was the one who, and it's like no one ever had that statistic again. And he's like top dog because of it, even though he's an old man. And he has a scene with Chevy that is just a jaw dropping scene where they like they rip at each other. It's fucking great. But the guy who plays Lorne Michaels, he's really cool. It's really cool. I'd suggest check it out if you can. It was very funny, very stressful, but it's going to go on because the show's on its 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
So the stakes aren't as high, but you're just like, I can't believe that this stuff happened. To what degree, I don't know, but like, I can't believe it. And there's so many names in the thing that are like, even though they're not like necessarily famous people, like playing the characters, there's like, I didn't realize that the first show, Billy Crystal got cut from doing the first show had about 5 hours of material and they only had an hour and a half. And it was up until the start of the show. They didn't know what they were going to be doing.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy. Yeah. So
I feel like this is one I should watch with my parents because
so cool.
And I've always loved that era of SNL. Like anytime there's any like documentaries on it on TV or anything, or they like, go over old clips from it, like, I will get sucked into watching it. So
yeah. Well worth it.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. It looks good. And I was just scrolling through the IMDb cast, and it's insane because it's on like both sides of like who they're playing. I'm like, oh shit, that person like shows up in this, and then also I see like Willem Dafoe in there somewhere, and I'm like, oh my god, what the hell?
Willem Dafoe's the guy who basically runs NBC and is the one who decides if the show is going to air or not.
Wow.
So he's sort of the antagonist of the movie.
Wow.
Huh. Yeah, this looks fun.
Absolutely.
It's cool.
Number 3.
Here we go. Top 3.
Piece by Piece.
Piece by Piece.
Laura's number 1 film.
That was my number 1. Yeah, that's why I said I might have a controversial number 1 pick. Now, did both of you see this or
not at all?
No.
Yeah, I saw it. It didn't make my top 10, but
so I think this one I very unexpectedly enjoyed. Like I had no interest in seeing it. I didn't really know what it was about going into it, just that it was Pharrell's movie, but had really no expectations going into it at all. And it was so fun. Like so fun. And obviously all the music was great, which probably had a big reason why I enjoyed it so much, but I didn't know how many songs he had produced or written or like were involved in. It was just like crazy to hear his story, which I didn't think I cared about, but was really it's just like I did not think I was going to care at all about this movie.
Yeah.
I cried a couple times, I think. There was a few points where I cried. I can't remember when or what it was about, but I definitely did. Maybe like when he was going back to like visit his old like neighborhood or something. But it was funny. Like it had so many people in it. It had Snoop Dogg. They smoked weed in it. Like it was so funny. And I'm like, I need every documentary told in Lego style now because it was just so entertaining. Because you couldn't tell the story the way that he told it with like live action people. It was just so fun.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't expecting it. And I was like, wow,
I was planning on getting around to it at some point. I just never. There's so many movies I didn't watch.
I like reluctantly went to it. I was like, I don't even want to go. Like, I'm not gonna go see this. And then I did, and I was like, this is so great.
Yeah, I love that.
So that's why it was my number 1.
It's 83 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I wish more. I bet a lot of people didn't see it for all the same reasons, and you should see it. Good times.
Nice. Number 2 on our list, Alien Romulus.
Nice.
Which was my number 1 film.
Wait, you saw it?
I watched it today.
Stop it.
Mm-hmm. I did a lot of cheating this year. I watched over half of the movies on my list.
Did you have time to watch that today?
After
I won't ask questions.
I watched it
while he was playing Fortnite
on the train. I watched it, and
oh, I forgot you were coming back. Okay, yeah,
yeah. No, I went to New York today, but I wouldn't go today.
I thought you were working.
Today,
I was like,
oh no,
Alien.
That's crazy.
No
kidding.
Yeah, it was really good. This was also on someone else's list, right? This is on yours, Drew.
Yeah,
it was mine. Yep. Yeah, it made my. I think it was like number 8 or something
Yeah.
on my list. It wasn't. It was high up for me, but I just had other things rated higher.
Yeah.
Nothing on my top 10 was something that I was like, now I gotta fill in space. Like it was everything was stuff I really enjoyed.
Listen, Madam Web's on my top 10, so
I was definitely filling in space. Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed it.
Was it scary, Brian?
It's tough to be scared when you're watching something on a train, I guess. But it was like there
true.
were several moments that were like, this is rough, and I can only imagine if I was watching it on like a big screen or something with like the full surround sound. But like the visuals were, I don't want to say like beautiful, but like some of the shots early in the film, like before they get into like the horror stuff, are like stuff that I've never seen done in sci-fi before. And like the whole did you see it, Laura?
No, I didn't see it.
I don't want to spoil anything, but like you can see like it's a planet like Saturn with all the rings. And there's a shot where like there's like a big ship like hovering above it, and then like you can see it in the background of the windows. And whoever the cinematographer was, there were several shots that were just like gorgeous.
Wow.
Really, really pretty to look at. Really interesting, like cyberpunk. They did a really good job at like making they show you like a mining colony, and it felt very like lived in the same way that like the first Alien movie and some of the first like Star Wars movies felt like, oh, this is sci-fi, but like people live here and do stuff. And there's like, it felt very, very grounded. And then what I also loved about it was under 2 hours. I was like, this is great. This kicks ass that it does what the first one did. Here's a horror story. Hour and a half, makes you feel something for the characters by giving you a little bit of backstory leading up to it, gives you some cool plot, and then it's just hunting some aliens on a spaceship, or they're hunting you. And like it was just like, this is what movies should be like still. Just quick, easy. There's no like hint at a sequel. There's nothing. It's just, here's a horror movie. Maybe she makes it, maybe she doesn't.
I'm really missing the movies that are under 2 hours nowadays.
Yeah, right.
I have a question about this movie, because when I saw the trailer, it looked so much like the original Alien.
That's probably the only downside to the movie, is that it basically is the first Alien movie and the second Aliens movie. It's the greatest hits put into one movie.
Yeah, because just watching the trailer, I'm like, is this a remake? Like, it seems like it's a remake because it had a lot of the same exact scenes almost. So I didn't know if there was a different
it's a
storyline or just like a retelling of it almost.
It's a new storyline that takes place between the first 2 movies. And I don't know if Brian had read anything into this, but there are some Easter eggs where you actually see Ripley's ship in the background during the movie. She's floating out there. So it's interesting, and they are making a sequel to this movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they do that, then it will definitely be aliens. Like I don't know.
They'll probably just do one alien to make it not aliens. You know, like, I mean, where this one was like, Alien was one alien on a ship. Aliens were a bunch of aliens on a colony. Maybe, and this was a bunch of aliens on a ship.
I was thinking, like, how much can you do when you're on a ship? Like, there's not
a lot,
much more.
No, it's the same concept of, hey, we're being hunted. We need to get out of here.
Yeah.
I thought there was a few differences. There's a few things that I felt like, oh man, I haven't seen this yet. And I like when people can get creative. And in general, it just felt like a remaster too, where I was like, wow, this like visually is much more impressive because they used all practical effects. I think that was this film, right? They didn't use very much CGI at all.
Not very much CGI.
Yeah. But they built the aliens and a bunch of the other stuff. And like, it was pretty rad. Like you could tell.
the original movie like cool.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it also ties into some of the prequel movies of Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
Oh my god, the last one, the one at the end. I don't want to spoil anything for Laura, but that was the worst thing I've ever seen in one of these movies.
You can spoil it.
There's just a hybrid. We'll just call it a hybrid. And it's terrifying, and it is mostly practical effects. There is an actual human being that is playing this thing. And like he's like one of the tallest people in the world, and he has like scoliosis bad and stuff like that. It's creepy.
The other thing that I thought it did well too, that like they wouldn't have been able to pull off in the other ones because they have CGI now, is that like they did practical for what they could do practical for, but then like the shot that you see in the trailer of like they're pulling one of the face huggers off, and you can see its arm like coming out of that person's throat. It's a longer shot in the movie, but it was like awful to watch. And that those moments were more graphic, I think, than like the other movies were able to pull off. So I don't know, it was really good.
It was definitely creepy.
That
was my next movie I saw after Longlegs, and I was like testing. I was like, let's test.
Can I still do this?
Yeah, let me see if I can still go to the movies.
Number 1.
All right.
Real Doofs movie of the year. You know what it is.
It's gotta be.
It's Deadpool and Wolverine, which was very high up on Drew and I's list. And you hadn't seen it, right, Laura?
I have not, and now I'm boycotting Ryan Reynolds. So.
Oh, okay.
Just
because you don't like him, or is there news?
No.
All the Blake
Are you
Lively,
going? Are you Team Justin?
We're gonna have to see how this all plays out, but
I know nothing about this.
It's not looking good for Blake and Ryan.
Yikes.
It's a whole. We don't have to get into it. If you did, I'll just say, if you know, you know.
Supposedly, Brian, one of the things that there's a lawsuit going on, and the guy who directed the Blake Lively movie apparently they're countersuing and saying they're going to sue Ryan Reynolds, saying that Nice Pool was based after the director Justin Baldumi or whatever his name is. And they're basically just making fun of him and in the movie. And it's like, okay, weird. I don't know. But I reluctantly put this so high up on my list. I was going to have it kind of midway. It probably would have ended up being the number 1 movie anyway, because how many movies did 2 of us see? But I enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like, it didn't like shake my world.
You and I both have this at second place, so I think we both tried to do the same thing.
And I only put it at second because I was like, I saw it so many goddamn times. Like,
why did you watch it so many times?
Because first I watched it because I wanted to see it, and I was like, wow, that was pretty good. Like, it wasn't great, but it was pretty good. Then I wanted other people to see it, and I took so many other people to see the movie.
Okay.
So I think I saw it 6 times.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. I think I was at 3 or something like that. But it was the same thing. Like, I went to go see it with my wife, and then I had a friend group who wanted to go see it, and I went to go see it with a different friend group.
You guys are all really nice. I'd say no after.
It was fun to rewatch. They fit so many jokes in that, like, I ended up catching a joke that I missed the first couple of times or whatever.
No, I did enjoy I don't know if I ever saw the second one, actually, but I really liked the first one. So I'm assuming that I would enjoy it as well.
It's weird for me too, because there's like this full circle moment where I didn't ever expect to see Hugh Jackman play this character again, and I named my kid after the character, and like, good old little Wolverine running around my house. But like, it was really special to me, and the ending is surprisingly heartfelt.
Even the after credits, don't they do the Green Day song?
Yes.
And they show clips from all the old like Fox movies and stuff, and it's
so it was good. I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I'm glad to have had the opportunity to experience it. It's just also to see them together, like Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are like like the amount of love that they have for these characters and for each other. It was like watching the press tour of from Wicked, like of Ariana and Cynthia, like just gushing over each other, you know. So yeah, it was definitely good.
Yeah.
Did any of us see Wicked? It wasn't
Yes.
on our list at all.
It's in the honorable mentions for sure. I think we'll
get there.
Yes.
We saw so few of the same movies that the actual list of movies that did make our list, we're getting close to, there's 28 films total. So there's not ton of overlap or whatever. But before we get into the
honorable
mentions, I went back to look at our movies from last year. And in the movies from last year, there was a section, what 3 movies are you looking forward to the most in 2024? Do we want to go through the honorable mentions first and then reveal those, or reveal those first and then go through?
Let's do honorable mentions first.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to keep reading down from 10 or 11 until we get to some of the worst ones. Challengers, we didn't quite get to.
Oh,
I heard that was really bad.
I missed it.
No, so good, Laura.
Really?
So good. I only have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 movies I saw last year did I give 5-star reviews to. I loved Challengers.
Okay.
And my favorite part about Challengers, without a huge spoiler, is like it's these 2 best friends who fall for this girl. She ends up she's a tennis player also. They show this in the trailer. She gets hurt, so she can't play tennis anymore. Well, she ends up with she's with one of them. She ends up with the other one, and now the 2 of them are playing. Like one of their lives went down the drain. The other one is like a millionaire but unhappy, and they're playing against each other. And we're seeing the flashbacks of their engagements with each other and how it all turns out. But I thought this movie was going to have this ultra violent end. And I was so pleasantly surprised at how not violent the end turned out.
Okay.
I was like shocked. I literally thought like somebody was like in the middle in front of the entire audience was going to get with like the tennis racket or something. And it had a completely like unexpected ending that I was like, fuck yeah.
Okay.
Not bad.
Give it a try.
Zendaya was amazing.
I love
the other
Zendaya.
2.
Yeah.
Bless you.
The other 2, not
The other 2.
The other 2.
Yeah, I literally was like, can I make it to the mute button? No, I can't. Sorry for all you hearing that.
You're fine. It was on my to watch list. I have like a 30 movie long list of things that I wanted to have seen that I didn't see in 2024, and that was on it.
All right, what's next? We're gonna have to.
I don't think I'm gonna read through all of them, but one of them is Hot Frosty, which Laura and I both saw, which was a direct to Netflix winter romance film.
I think I enjoyed it more because then I got you to watch it. I got Patrick to watch it. I got a whole bunch of boys to watch Hot Frosty.
I didn't realize you recruited so many people to watch.
I don't know if I actually recruited Brian or if you just watched it on your own.
I did want to see it, but it was because I wouldn't have picked that one, but I was like, I want to watch a bad movie.
Yeah.
And I heard you and Patrick talking about it. I was like, I'll just watch that one.
It was actually good.
And the concept sounded bizarre.
The actors were good. Like, Lacey, what's her name? She's great. Mm-hmm. She's fantastic.
She was great. I Lacey did not Chabert. Like Ted from Schitt's Creek.
He was weird in this
Ted
movie.
from Schitt's Creek, isn't it?
He's the Hot Frosty.
But he's supposed to be awkward.
But he's got no beard and like hair down to his nips.
CGI'd.
It's so weird.
Did you say down to his nips? Or
yeah, down to his nips. I think it was long hair.
But yeah, it was like surprisingly good. And then I think because then afterwards we were like, oh, did you hear that theory about the shop owner's husband was a snowman too? Like,
yeah, like the shop owner has the magic ability to like turn snowmen into real men, so she like sculpts really, really well.
Because she gave her the scarf, like, and she was like, you need to find someone, here you go, like, here's the magic scarf.
Was she like, you need to find a sculpture?
No, but it was like, and then she like winks at her husband, kind of like, you know, I turned you from a snowman.
Yeah,
But it was like so bizarre because he's aware that he's a snowman.
Yeah.
In the movie, I don't know. It was
Ted is.
Yeah, he like knows that he's a snowman. So
that means that shop owner has hand sculpted every man's dick in that town.
Or maybe that's where the magic comes from.
Maybe that's the magic. I also thought it was funny when I was watching it. I was like, what if she, as a joke, just put the scarf around like the T-Rex? Because there was also a T-Rex in the square that was really well. I was like, just throw the scarf around that. And then a big dinosaur running around.
It was great. Good times.
I saw Red
that she falls in love with.
I saw Red 1, which is fine. It was a movie that Dwayne The Rock Johnson was in. Chris Evans was the best part. J.K. Simmons played Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Ripped Santa.
It was pretty wild. I saw Ghostbusters Frozen Empire also, which was not very good. Trap was in here. Who saw Trap?
Oh, that was me. That's the one with what's his name? Josh Hartnett. Yeah. Which obviously I watched it for that. It was another one that was like, it knew it was corny. But it actually had a really good few plot twists that I wasn't expecting. So I was like, if they didn't make it so corny, it could have actually been a really good like psychological thriller.
Mm-hmm.
But they just made it slightly too weird. But it had like a couple good plot twists. So yeah, it could have been really good. It wasn't awful, but
yeah.
I would watch it just if anyone hasn't. If you like little twists, I would give it a watch.
Yeah, I'll give it a whirl. Nosferatu.
So good. So good.
That's on my
Speaking of wieners.
Need to watch.
Yes, there was a wiener in it, a fake wiener.
A fake wiener.
Yeah. Bill Skarsgård has an old decrepit wiener. That in fact, like a prosthetic old wiener that Nicholas Hoult liked so much that Robert Eggers gifted it to him as the end of wrap.
Yeah, he's got it framed in his
house.
Yes,
he has a framed wiener, like old shriveled wiener at his house.
Yeah, Google Nicholas Hoult old shriveled wiener.
Yeah, you should probably Google it on your phone or not on your work computer.
It didn't come up, so it's fine.
But yeah, no. Very interesting take on the movie. This movie seems to get remade every 50 years. The original came out in 1922. Didn't get released in the U.S. until 1929, but then it was released. Then it was remade in the 70s by Werner Herzog, and Klaus Kinski played the role. And then it was remade. Yeah, you see it. Yeah, Laura's got it.
It's him holding the.
Yeah, he's like loving it. He's like, yeah.
I love Nicholas Hoult.
So, the movie was really wild. It's basically Bram Stoker's Dracula, but they didn't have the rights to make Dracula. So the director basically took the story of Dracula and just changed a handful of concepts and was like, he's not a vampire. He's like a curse. Like he's like death. Like, and he brings a plague, but he like sucks on your blood. And then the Bram Stoker estate was like, you're sued. And he's like, oh man. But this is a new Gothic retelling from director Robert Eggers, who makes very visceral and weird, not necessarily all horror, but very supernatural kind of movies. So his first movie was called The Witch, with Anya Taylor-Joy. It launched her career. It was really wild. He wrote that movie. It's based in the 1600s, and he only used language that was around in the like at that time, Puritan language. So like there is no like anything that someone would have said today accidentally in there. It's very specific.
I tried to watch that movie this year and I couldn't.
It's slow.
Get through it.
It's a slow one, but it's wild. I saw that in theaters and I remember like being like, what the fuck? And then he made The Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, and that's another very awkward movie. Then he made a movie called The Northman with the other Skarsgård, with Alexander, and it's a Viking movie that's basically Shakespeare. I think it's King Lear, I think, or the Lion King, basically whatever the Lion King was based after. That's the basic story of the Northman. And then he made Nosferatu now. And it's another very wild, it's actually the highest grossing non-sequel horror movie of last year. Yeah, so it was, kind of an original, I guess, if you in a sense, because it's not a sequel to, just a remake. But yeah, and for a short budget, it made a good amount of money. It's still making money, which is awesome. But definitely crazy. Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise, plays Count Orlok, and he only speaks in like a Siberian, Russian, Transylvanian accent, or language the entire time. The best part of this movie, and this is slight spoiler on the design of Count Orlok. If you've ever looked at Nosferatu and ever seen a painting or a picture from the old one, like 1922, even the 70s version, he's pale, two sharp little front teeth, pointy ears, and he's like thin, and he's like got these long fingernails, all black. They changed his design slightly, and it's somewhat hilarious and terrifying at the same time. He's like, when you see him dressed, he's like in very like furred out, like Russian, like he's got that big Russian hat from Seinfeld, and like he's got like the furs on, but he has the biggest mustache I've ever seen. And it is wild. Like, you're like, how do I take this serious? Oh my God. Like, you're like also partially like, get away from me, but also like, fuck is that mustache? Like, you just almost, it's almost as like, you're almost in a trance as Lily Rose Depp is from his Hypnotics in it, from just staring at that mustache. Pretty wild. And it's like not gray either. He's like pale and falling apart, maggot written, and like he's got this perfectly brown mustache that's like from his nose down to his chin practically. You're like, dear Lord. Pretty fucking wild and funny at the same time. But no, really cool movie. I'd probably buy it when it comes out. Honestly, it's probably have that to have in my collection. Well worth it.
Sweet. Nice. We also have on here Ricky Stenicki.
We both saw that. Yeah, we both.
Oh, you watched it too? I thought.
Yeah, it didn't make my top 10, but I watched it.
See, that's how very few movies. I just
thought
it was good. I
was
love
a movie.
Like goofy movies like
that.
Sometimes. I love
from the
John
trailer. It felt very much like The Hangover.
Yeah, I laughed more than I thought I was gonna laugh in it. But it was also like just very easy viewing.
Yeah, I love Zac Efron. Great. Yeah. John Cena, great. I love Andrew Santino as a comedian, and he's a great actor. So yeah, I just like the three of them. So it was fun, good times.
Yeah,
nice. Give us one more, Brian.
One more.
Yeah.
Wicked is on here.
Cool. Nice. Was I the only one, or okay? I saw it. Yeah.
I will be seeing it, so I don't know much about the Wicked storyline at all, so
I knew nothing.
No spoilers. Yep. I don't want to know anything.
I knew nothing. This is a musical. No, I'm kidding.
I did know that.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to fault it in any way, but my intention was to see this theatrically, and that didn't work out. So we bought it and watched it at home, and it just wasn't the same experience, but I was like, this is pretty good. It's fucking long, but it's pretty good.
I have a feeling in theaters it would be great.
Yeah. And it was long, and I wish I had like shut the shade so it was darker. We watched it literally in the afternoon, and got lunch and like ate lunch on the couch and watched it. And I wasn't like hooked on the songs, but now it's been like a few weeks and I kind of like hum Popular every once in a while. But like,
see, I know the songs just from I know like the popular ones. But
yeah, that's like the only one. But like, I laughed a lot. It was good. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are like just brilliant together. They're amazing. Yeah, it was cool. There's some questions I have that I don't quite understand. Maybe it will be answered later, but yeah, not bad.
Cool. Now, last year, I asked, what 3 movies were you looking forward to the most in 2024?
I have a feeling I did not watch any of mine.
I know one of them. I know I said
you.
Deadpool Wolverine.
Like, I also had that one, and 10 out of 10. Knocked it out of the park. Glad I watched it. I'll just go first here. The other two on my list I just didn't see. Dune Part 2 and the musical Mean Girls film that came out earlier in the year.
That literally came out when you made that list.
Yeah.
It was like the next week.
I had so much opportunity to watch it. Like I said, there are 30 movies on my list that I wanted to see and I did not see. But yeah, didn't watch either of them. So just the Deadpool and Wolverine one. Laura, you had...
Was one of mine... I'm trying to think now. Was one
oh,
of
yeah.
mine
Do you remember
Twister?
yours? No, not on here.
Was one of mine Mean Girls?
One of yours was Mean Girls.
And I did not see it either.
Did you see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes?
No.
We're so excited for it.
Because I was so excited because and I started rewatching all of
really?
of the Apes. And I've only haven't seen what's the one that came out before this one?
War of the Planet of the Apes.
That's the one I haven't seen.
Oh,
so
it's gonna break your heart.
I watched all the other ones, still didn't watch that one, and did not watch the new one.
Dawn was so good, and War was so good. Laura, it's gonna break you.
Is War the one where it's like the winter time, or is that?
Yes, it's at like an internment camp.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I cried all of them because
Oh wait, you have seen it. You just didn't rewatch it. Okay.
No, I don't think I watched. I may have watched like the first 10 minutes of that one, but I did not watch. I know that I haven't seen the whole thing.
Oh, it's so good.
I cry in all of them.
The new one was really good.
I know that
it was really, really good.
I'm writing that down that I'm watching.
You should, yeah.
I need to watch more
and it takes place like years later. It's not like, but the other three happened.
I've been writing down ones that I like really want to see. So far, Saturday night.
We can do a movie night because I also wanted to watch Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is on my big 30 movie list.
We should have a movie night.
So what was on Laura's list?
What was my
Mean
Girls?
Girls?
So Mean Girls, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Beetlejuice 2. Beetlejuice.
Oh, and I half watched it.
Okay. You should count that as a watch if you're not going to finish it.
No, but I wasn't. It was one that I was not paying attention very much at all. And I wasn't that into it.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. The first like 30 minutes that I watched, I'm like, this isn't really what I thought it was going to be. And I don't love it.
And weirdly had several plot points. Like I thought it was going to be like one major plot point, and it was like this story's happening, and this story's happening, and this story, and you're like, are they all going to come together at the end? Do you even need Monica Bellucci? Like
I think I was like on my phone, and then I think I took a nap, and then I never cared to start it again. So at least I gave that one a shot, but I don't really think I feel the need to watch it all the way through.
It made its money.
Yeah. All right, now what were Drew's?
Yeah,
I feel like he watched all of his.
You had,
Deadpool,
I think
Wolverine.
you have seen it. So Deadpool and Wolverine, Nosferatu was on there. Drew, can you tell me how was Joker Folie à Trois?
Oh, I did. I turned it on when it was on HBO Max, and we watched 10 minutes, and I shut it off.
So I did not know that was a musical. And I'm so glad I did not go to the theater to watch it.
And I really want to.
I was like, I'm gonna give it a fair chance because I knew it was a musical. I remember when they first talked about it, they were like, it's gonna be a musical. I was like, that's an interesting take.
Yeah.
And they were like,
that was an interesting
and it's gonna have Lady Gaga. I'm like, this could be really good.
Lady
and
Gaga.
then and then everyone shit on it, and I was like, I'm still interested.
Yeah.
Like, and I
people
read all
just
the
don't get
spoilers.
it, you know?
Yeah. I read all the spoilers. Quentin Tarantino said it was the best movie of the year. Like Quentin was like, I love it because it's an FU to superhero fans. And I was like, what a good way to alienate your base. And then when I turned it on and we watched the first 10 minutes, makes fun of Warner Brothers cartoons. It's like a cartoon of the ending of Joker of the first movie. And then it like is fucking boring for the next 10 minutes. I was just like, all right, I'll just turn it off for now and maybe we'll see it again one day. And I don't think I will.
And the first one was so good.
Yeah.
Like, so good. How can you fuck it up that bad?
Maybe it's not meant to be fucked up. Maybe Todd Phillips literally was like, too many people thought Joker was the good guy.
Which he did say. He did. Yeah. He hates what people thought of the first one.
Then you shouldn't have written the movie that way.
But he like wrote it to be like he's a disturbed person.
Yeah, I don't.
And everyone's like, "Go Joker, shoot that guy."
It's the same people who like idolize Walter White, and it's like, well, he is the villain of that story, not the hero.
what's his name in The Boys?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking current day, like Luigi.
Mm.
But but I didn't think that the Joker was the good guy. But you can sympathize with
Yeah,
him.
yeah, exactly.
Is like the point.
I think
of the
that's the
movie.
point.
Yeah. But oh man, no, I will definitely not be watching that. I don't know.
So that's what we were most looking forward to from 2024. I have your lists for this year if you don't remember what you filled out on the form.
I already don't remember what movies I wanted to see in 2024 that I didn't.
That was the I don't know what that is.
Wait, you mean
no, the ones that we just filled out in the new
form.
In 2025.
Oh, the ones
no, because we put the movies that we didn't get to see that we wanted to.
Oh, yes. Yeah. The movies that I know I put Anora down. Yes. That's what I wanted to see this year. I did not. Anora is basically a dark Cinderella story. That's a low budget movie about this. She's a dancer, but she's also, I think, what do you call that? Somebody who like spends the night. No, I don't want to call her a prostitute, but she ends up meeting this young Russian guy, and they fall for each other. They get married, and then the family. He's like a Russian oligarch, and the family wants to break their wedding up. And it's from Sean Baker. He makes some very low budget and kind of difficult to watch movies, and it's getting a lot of praise. Mike Madsen is the lead actress. Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty good. Cool. I was hoping to see it, but I don't think I will.
Laura, you've got A Real Pain and Nosferatu.
Okay, yeah, I really, really wanted to see the
A Real Pain is the Jesse Eisenberg and
yes.
Kieran Culkin.
I love Kieran Culkin so much. I wanted to watch it before we did this, but I didn't. You can only buy the movie right now, and I'm like, I don't know if I really want to spend $20 on this movie if I don't like it.
Yeah.
So, even though I think I would, but I don't know if it's one that I would like rewatch over again. It kind of seems like a one and done kind of movie. But I will be watching that as soon as I can rent it or it streams somewhere. Yeah.
Cool. I had, like I said, I've got a huge list, but I think I would have liked to have seen Dune 2. I liked the first one. Dune 2 I probably should have seen. I really wanted to see Civil War, which is the A24 film. There was no point between when that movie came out and now that felt good to watch that.
Yeah. It was
understood.
It was a tough watch when in theaters watching that.
Yeah. I had Twisters on there because we had just seen Twister this past year. So I really wanted to see that. Gladiator 2. One of the small, like, weird ones that came out. I love a good weirdo fucking movie. Sasquatch Sunset. Did you guys see the trailer for that?
Yes.
No.
I hear it's fantastic. I think Sid sent that to us in an email of his top like 10 of the year, and he said that was one of his favorites.
I really want to watch it. It looks so dumb. I think it's who's in that? It's like pretty
Jesse Eisenberg.
I was gonna say I think it's Jesse Eisenberg. I couldn't remember if it was him or Michael
speaking.
Sarah. Oh really?
They're just it's follows a family of Sasquatches. Yeah.
See, now this is my kind of. I rather watch this than the Robbie Williams monkey movie. Like, I want to watch this wild shit.
Yeah, it looks wild. I didn't get a chance to see it yet. So I don't think anybody else would want to watch it with me, so I just haven't had a chance to. But maybe we can add that to our movie night.
There's only 4 people in the movie.
Yeah, it's like it's a fake documentary essentially following this family of Sasquatch.
I love this so much. Okay, I'm writing this
down. Yeah, like watch the trailer because it's weird.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
On to 2025.
Yes. Yeah. What about our anticipated movies?
Our most anticipated movies, which I can't wait to read this again next year.
I'm easily getting to see mine.
Yeah. Yours look.
Mine are big movies, and they're going to be things. I'm going to just start off.
Yeah, go for it.
Superman is my most anticipated movie. I can't wait to see the new Superman movie. I am absolutely giving it a chance. I really wish Henry Cavill was our Superman, but I can't wait to see what James Gunn does with this. I've heard there's so Laura, just to also give you a heads up on this, which you're not going to care about at all, but for context sake, the last time Superman was on screen, um, they've rebooted that universe. So we're getting a fresh take on Superman. The
Okay.
last guy who made Superman movies was Zack Snyder. He does a lot of like very beautiful looking, but not very great storytelling stuff. So his DC stuff and his like driven universe really wasn't great. It was a little too dark. But the guy who played Superman, Henry Cavill, was awesome. He was great. But all of the diehard Zack Snyder fans out there are like, this movie looks so stupid. This looks bad. And there's like they've done a couple test screenings and people have said, oh boy, this movie is going to be really bad. People are comparing this movie to the original Guardians of the Galaxy and the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies. And I'm like, how could you think that's going to be a bad combination?
That sounds great.
That
for
sounds
Superman.
Exactly what I want to see for my Superman movie. It sounds like it's going to be fun as hell. It sounds like it's going to be funny, but it sounds like it's going to have heart.
Yeah.
And the trailer had like the electric guitar playing the original Superman theme.
Yes,
so good.
Yeah. So I'm very, very excited to see that. Then just for my own personal enjoyment of Superman, and it looks bright and happy. And the Zack Snyder Superman, he never got a chance to. He made him emo from the beginning. Superman didn't know if he wanted to be the person who helps out humanity. So he was kind of emo, like, what do I have to help? And then he finally kind of got to the point where he's bright and like, this is what I do. And they never explored beyond that. And this Superman looks like
it starts there almost.
Starts there where he's like, he's younger, but yeah, looks like it's going to be good. Gave me chills.
I also love,
there's a dog in it. Laura, there's a super dog in it.
Yeah,
Crypto is in it.
So cute.
Yes.
I love all the memes that are happening right now too, where people are like, hey, do you think that Clark Kent kind of looks like Superman? Like people are posting side-by-side pictures of Superman from the trailer and Clark Kent, and they're like, but I can't believe people are like both sides of the argument people are posting, and it's like a big conspiracy, and it's so good.
I love how this guy who's playing Superman, they show the difference, Clark Kent, and they show Superman. Of course, it's the same, it's like he's wearing glasses and his hair's a little curly when he's Clark Kent, but his mannerisms are so janky and like he's so dorky, like very Christopher Reeve, super. Like they showed at one point, like he goes to the Daily Planet and he sits down, and I think Lois like says something, but the way he like turns and he's just like he has like such a confused look, like me, and you see Superman who looks like put together. So I think they're going to do a really cool thing with it. I'm very excited. But my next most anticipated movie is, I think, Fantastic Four. That's my typical Marvel. I'm very excited to see where we go with it. I am a big Marvel fan. I love the MCU and I want to see how they continue on, but let's beside the point that the last movie is 28 years later. I cannot wait for 28 years later.
It's a franchise I never got into, shockingly, and I think I need to.
I think we should put the first one on our list. It's it's a low budget horror movie that launched the career of Cillian Murphy. There's a lot of fun, interesting things behind it. It was supposed to be, I think they wanted, they offered the role to Ewan McGregor, but there was some bad blood between the director Danny Boyle and Ewan McGregor, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it if you give me my Star Wars fee." And he was like, "That's the budget of the movie." Like it's a lot of cool stuff, but it introduced the running zombie, into our pop culture, which has been a huge debate from people in general, and it's actually a legitimately good movie. So I think we should watch it.
Yeah. No, I would. It's one of those I think I may have watched like a few parts of here and there over the years, but I have no recollection of it.
Yeah. It's good stuff. And it actually has a lot of it has 3 people in that movie well, no, actually, Brian, you would recognize the 11th Doctor?
Okay. Matt Smith. Oh, Eccleston is 9.
9. Okay, sorry, Ninth Doctor. Whew, shit, I almost got killed there. No, the Ninth Doctor. Yeah, Christopher Eccleston's in it. Brendan Gleeson's in it. Naomi Harris. There's a lot of names in that movie. So cool
I
stuff.
love like what's the other World War Z?
Yes,
I love.
I wish
that
they
movie.
did more.
Like that's
I
such
wish
a
they
good
did
movie, and this probably is like a earlier version of that, like or like same vibes.
Yeah, it was about 10 years
Yeah.
beforehand. I think this came out in 2003, the first one. And then I think it was like 2010 to 12 maybe was when World War Z came out. I think. I can't, I'm just guessing off the top of my head.
But same kind of zombie.
Yeah,
like
they're
that
like
fast pace. Like
yeah.
there's nothing I hate more than a slow moving zombie in a movie. Like I could never get into The Walking Dead because I'm like, just run. Like I don't just run.
It's just when they get
don't trip.
When they get together and there's a horde of them, that's where it gets like,
but it would always be like they're in the middle of like a road somewhere and that you can see from miles away, and then all of a sudden there's a zombie right next to them. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Just keep going.
Just walk away.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways.
Laura, you had a laundry list for 2025.
You can run through them because I probably don't have much to say about. I don't even remember what I put at this. I know I put Jurassic Park, the new Jurassic.
Oh yeah, Rebirth.
Just because I am a completionist of that. Like I need to see it because I've watched the other ones, and I do thoroughly enjoy all of them except the last one.
Yeah, Dominion was rough.
That was. I don't know that I actually fully watched that one, but I count it enough to check off my list. But I'm hoping that this one is better. So fingers crossed.
I hear it's going to be a little darker, a little more like Michael Crichton's first book of Jurassic Park, where it's a little more on the not a family-ish film. Because when Jurassic Park was kind of about, when Spielberg took it over, he was like, the book's a little too dark. Let's make it more family oriented. Yeah. It's still scary, but it's like the family's going to win. And I guess they said this is potentially a little, they brought back the original writer of the movie of the first movie.
Oh, wow.
David Keep. I can't remember how to pronounce his last name, but supposedly it's going to be a little more dark than the last several movies.
I'm here for it.
Probably not a rated R movie, but it'll probably be like a little more intense. Yeah. I think.
Here for it.
Yeah.
Constantine 2.
Oh, just because
is that official this year?
It said that it was, so I don't know.
Okay.
It was on I looked up like the list of 2025 movies.
That's Keanu Reeves, right? Is he back for that?
He got okay. James Gunn is saying it's an Elseworld movie for DC. Okay. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be part of the main thing, and I'm like,
it will be real. I just don't know if it's going to be this year, honestly.
Okay.
They have not started filming it yet. I can tell you that, and that's kind of one of those things where you need like a year. So
interesting.
Yeah, it says in production. I don't know, but Keanu Reeves. The first one was incredible.
Should the first one be on our list? I don't know if that's on our movie list.
You've never seen it?
I've never seen it.
Oh, I think so.
Especially if the new one's coming. Oh, we can talk about this later.
I would say put it on the list. I'm not gonna. I'll share my thoughts of that movie when it's time to see that movie.
Oh, really? Okay,
it's good.
Okay, what was my next one?
The Conjuring: Last Rites.
Oh, that's for obvious reasons. I have to see all the movies in that franchise. And I actually didn't know that there was another one coming out until I saw it when I was looking at movies for this year. So I don't know anything about it.
Last one. It's going to be their last one. Yeah, they've said they're not doing anymore.
We will conjure no more.
I'm okay with that. Well, I mean, there really was only, if they're going off of the real life, like big stories of Lorraine and Ed. So there's really only so much that you can do. Right. Did I have one more?
You had two more. Dodgeball 2.
Oh.
Is in there.
Fantastic. I did not know there was another one coming of that either.
I didn't know that either. And then Final Destination Bloodlines.
Dodge a ball. Oh, yeah. That was only because Drew, when we were talking about that the other day, and we got into Final Destination talk, and that's another one. I just have to see all of them because I don't know. Because there's certain ones like the Scream franchise. I will watch every Scream movie. I've watched every Halloween movie, even though they were awful towards the end. But you just gotta do it.
Tell us, Bri, about yours.
I have one. Have you guys seen the trailer for Death of a Unicorn?
No.
Yeah, it looks pretty wild.
Very into that. It's Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega, and then I think there's a couple other people in it.
Oh.
Yep.
Richard
I
E. Grant.
Did see that. Yeah.
Will Poulter.
Yep.
It looks
Even
so
Téa Leoni. Yeah.
silly. And I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I also have Mickey 17, which is another Bong Joon-ho, who did Parasite and Snowpiercer are the only two that I've seen. I know that and Okja. Did he do Okja?
Yes.
I've seen Okja.
Yep.
I love Parasite.
Yep. Doing another film, and it's got Robert Pattinson in it, which looks just very good.
And Toni Collette.
Mark
The trailer
Ruffalo,
looks
Stephen
pretty
Yeun,
wild.
Also a pretty good cast there too.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. That looks good. I'm also excited for Superman. I'm excited for like a good DC movie because it's been a while.
So.
And I do like DC films. The Chris Nolan's trilogy obviously is fantastic, and there's been good ones. But I don't know. I believe in James Gunn. I think he can. If anyone can pull it off, I think it's going to be him. I know that he's not like everybody's flavor, but he's. I think he can do it.
Yeah, and Laura, the interesting thing also about this is that the guy who's making the movie, James Gunn, he made like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but he's actually the CEO of DC now. He got pulled from Marvel as a director to run DC, and him and his producing partner are the like two heads of DC, and he was like, I'll do it if I can still make movies for DC. And they were like, yes, because you made one of the most successful Marvel trilogies, you can make our superhero movies too. So he's running the show and he's like directing it, and there's a lot on his shoulders. So
yeah,
I just hope it succeeds. Sorry, they are going to be doing more promotions of the movie during the Puppy Bowl.
Yeah,
which makes me so excited.
Great.
It makes
great marketing decision.
Yes.
Also excited for Fantastic Four. Pedro Pascal is going to be in it. The guy from The Bear is playing the Thing. Good cast. It's set in the 1960s, so I hope we get like an alt universe Beatles soundtrack or something. The actual third one on my list, though, purely because our friend who's been on this show, Chris, is a huge fan of this and is absolutely going to hate this film, and I really want to watch him watch it, is the Minecraft movie that's coming out in 2025. I think it's going to be one of those things where it is going to be the worst movie of the year. This is like when they were making the Sonic movie. Do you remember when they put out the first trailer for the Sonic movie and he had big old gnarly teeth and people complained, and then they were like, well, okay, we'll fix it. Don't worry about it. And now they've made 3 of them, and the last one was one of the highest grossing movies of the year or something stupid like that. The Minecraft one is like, they put out the trailer and everyone was like, this looks fucking dumb. And they're like, too bad. Here's more of it, idiot. It's Jack Black playing a video game character. It looks like he rolled out of bed and showed up to the set to film. He does not look like they tried to make him look like the character at all. Jason Momoa is in it for no fucking reason.
No reason.
The little bit of game mechanics that exist, they show in the trailer wrong. There's certain things that you can do in the game, and they're like, hey, this is how this works. And it's like, that isn't how that works in the game though. So why are you making a movie about this game incorrect? Chris is going to be so mad, and he has sworn that he's not going to watch it, but I need to watch him watch this movie.
I think
have a good 2025.
You should do that to him like you made me see Detective Pikachu.
Don't get me wrong. I also think that we're going to end up watching the Minecraft movie this year on the podcast, and I'll just like make you two play Minecraft while we watch it or something.
I don't like
iPad
that.
kid it.
I don't like that at all.
Do you know an interesting fact? For years, Always Sunny in Philadelphia's Rob McElhenney, he plays Mac on that show, was actually contracted to direct the Minecraft movie. And then he had to drop out.
Or he's got a writing credit or something?
I think he still has a writing credit, but he's already said it is a completely different movie.
Oh, interesting. Because he shows up very prominently on like IMDb for that. And I'm like, oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah,
Maybe it won't be as bad because he's a part of it, but no, if he's not at all, then it's going to be
he dropped
actually
out of
fucking terrible.
Yep, it was him, and he had it, and Steve Carell was actually going to be Steve.
That wouldn't have been too bad. I could see that.
But yeah, they both had to drop out because the movie was not moving, and there was creative differences and stuff like that. So this is going to be a dumpster fire that will likely make a good amount of money because kids are going to
want to see it.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's got a decent cast though too. Like aside from the ones I mentioned, Jennifer Coolidge, Kate McKinnon are in it. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the casts at the very least. But it looks
it's going to be bad,
dumb as heck. And one of the most iconic things about Minecraft, like it's all this blocky fucking shit, but then the music is gorgeous. It is one of the best video game soundtracks of all time. It is peaceful, iconic, classic. Doesn't show up a single time in the trailer. It would have been the perfect thing to like have that like
to bring people together,
like opening with it at least. But they did Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles for some fucking reason. They're like, we've got budget to blow. Let's spend it on the Beatles for our trailer.
Yep.
Wild.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
that
was our year-end review, everybody.
Yeah. I thought of one more movie that I wanted to see this year that I didn't see.
What is it?
Okay.
Baby Girl.
Ooh. Laura.
I know.
Laura.
I
you
know.
and the smut.
I know. I know. It's probably awful, but it's an A24 movie.
I hear it's good.
Yeah.
I hear it's good, but it's just a little, just a little...
little risque.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet it's not that bad. I think that's another one everyone's kind of like hyping up, and then you watch it and you're probably like, eh.
Yeah.
No.
We'll see. Yeah. Well,
all right. Now that wraps up our
that wraps up our 2022 or
2024,
2022.
What year is it?
Going back. Cool. So Brian, how can people hear it?
I
mean, do we have to keep doing this? I mean, at this point, we're like pretty far in. Like, just find us, y'all. You're listening to it.
Find us.
Tell us.
Whatever
Tell
you're
us.
listening to.
Can that be our sign off from now on? Just like, anyways, thanks for listening. Find us.
Find us.
Yeah, I think so. Email us at Real Doofs, which actually I don't even know if our email address is valid anymore.
Yeah.
I think it is. But I got an email that was like, hey, someone going to sign into this email? I was like, well, we get emails.
Yeah.
So, but email us.
At gmail.com.
Yeah. Find us.
Find us. Is that too open-ended? I don't know. Like, I don't want you show. Don't like find us.
Really find us.
Don't really show up at our houses.
Yeah. But like find us on streaming services.
Find us spiritually. Find us.
All right.
Emotionally. Do not find us physically.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.